It's new case time.
Yeah, look at this thing. It's very white.
It's the whitest case you know.
It's so white you can see right through it.
It's tempered glass. Oh, the plastic is showing.
Well, that's because it's brand new. We haven't taken it off yet. Look at that.
We've sort of taken it for a spin. So the good about this case, it's a compact ATX tower case. It'll support all-in-one cooling. You can mount a radiator in the front. It's got built-in digital RGB, so you can get some RGB lighting effects. That's basically built into the case on the front. Yeah, so the front has sort of an interesting aesthetic. It's got a removable side panel, tempered glass on the other side. True tempered glass. Nice piece of tempered glass. It'll support a lot of fun stuff, basically modern systems. It's got dual USB 3.0 ports on the top, power, reset, headphone jacks, HD audio, front panel. It's a low cost. It's a relatively low cost case. This is Bitfenix trying something new, trying something a little different. But
sorry, I just realized that the glass is also polarized.
And
it's messing with me anyway.
Polarized tempered glass. Oh my God. So it comes with two 120mm fans, one in the front, one in the back. The one in the back is a fancy RGB, like digital LED strip fan thing. There's also a little RGB, like digital RGB strip repeater on the back. It's got two 3.5-inch bays, three 2.5-inch bays. One of those, like you can see the two 2.5-inch bays in here. There's another one behind the motherboard tray. There's also two 3.5-inch bays with a little sled thingy on the inside. You gotta take the side off to get the power supply in. The power supply only goes in one way. This shroud is non-removable. So this case is also a little rough around the edges. The build quality on ours was pretty good. It's sturdy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, even though we've taken all this stuff off, it's still not wobbly in a sort of way. And I think that has a lot to do with the non-removable piece here.
It's not flexing. It's
not,
riveted.
It's not doing this, and it's all riveted in, which is really nice.
It's got more rivets than a Budweiser commercial.
We get a lot of air filtration here, because you need that.
So we think the power supply filter is good. The power supply filter is flush against the case, and the power supply dust filter is going to do its job. The front dust filter, it's not, I don't know if it's just this particular case or the model, but the dust filters are not flush against the fans. There's actually a pretty big gap. It's like a 1/2 inch gap. And there's also this open space at the top of the case. So there's this channel you see here on the bottom of the case. That's where air is going to come in, and it's going to come up the front. But there's not really a guarantee that the air is going to travel through the dust filter, because there's a gap between the dust filter and the fan.
Yeah. The other issue we were having with these is the front two fans have these air filters here for the fan pieces that are down here and here. But this looks like a fan should go here, but there's no dust filter, and if you were to put a fan here pulling air in, you'd have
unfiltered air.
Unfiltered air, and if you leave it empty, I'm concerned that air is going to be, comes in the bottom. It's going to, the hot air is going to rise up, and it's just going to go right back down and get pulled back into the case. It's going to keep a circulation, and then you'd have to put a fan in here to get air going out this way.
There probably needs to be a piece of foam or something to seal this off so that you don't have air going the wrong way. And there probably should also be a piece of foam where the dust filter joins up down here at the bottom to sort of seal off that gap so that the fan is pulling air through the dust filter. I mean, these are nice dust filters. I mean, it's a nice washable micro mesh. I mean, it's a pretty nice dust filter, but I don't think it's going to be effective as long as that gap is there, or as effective as it could be.
Yeah.
It does have two different tops. This is a nice feature too that I wish other cases had. So this is a solid top if you don't want to put fans in the top, and then that's mesh. Unfortunately, the 240 millimeter mounts at the top, we don't think even like the fractal 240 millimeter all-in-one, which is pretty compact, would fit up there and clear most motherboards. I mean, the VRM is pretty substantial on most modern motherboards, and we don't think that you could get a 240 millimeter in here in the top and actually clear the motherboard, because there's not enough room between the top and the motherboard and the thing. Fans are no problem, but radiator. Now, when we started our build, we ran into an issue. It seemed like this 280 millimeter cooler from Corsair was going to fit, but it didn't. We had to bend the case. So I wouldn't recommend this case for 280 millimeter all-in-ones. 240 should be just fine.
Yeah, this space here between the fan spot and the top of the motherboard tray is just about an inch. Might be a little
About the thickness of a fan.
yeah.
If the holes were more offset toward the front, you'd have a little bit more toward the glass side panel, I guess I should say. You'd probably have a little bit more room to work, but as it is, not so much.
Otherwise, the only other thought I had would be if you were to set this up to where if they made it so you mount the fan on the outside, you know, for a radiator, put it on the outside and have some kind of grommet coming back in.
They would have to include some of those finger guards as well, so that you could have the, finger guards so that you don't stick your fingers into the fan.
But that's the fun part.
And at that point, we've doubled the cost of the case.
Yeah.
This is probably why we didn't go into mechanical engineering.
Yeah. Got some nice grommets.
It does have some nice grommets. There's some pretty good features of this case. It's got to make things a little bit more compact. You've got this little slider thingy, this little slider doohickey at the back, so that the expansion slot card things can be flush with the back of the case. And these are mesh. I mean, that looks pretty cool.
I like the features that this does have. I definitely say I like. I like what it has. I like what they're trying to include. You've got the 3 SSD slots in the back, which is awesome, and you've got 2 3.5 or 2.5 inch trays here at the bottom of the case.
Non-removable, riveted.
But the carriage for it is non-removable. But the more I started, we started looking at this, and then it's what we like about it, we start finding the little things, and it's the little things.
It's a solid B.
Yeah, definitely. I'll give this. I'm being generous by giving this a B, because it gets to the point where I'm going to get really nitpicky with the different angles and different pieces, and it's like.
Well, like you can see that this part here was meant for 5.25 inch bays. There's no 5.25 inch bays on this case, so this tooling was reused from another case,
yeah.
Which is fine. This is an inexpensive case with RGB, so I mean, I'm gonna cut Bitfenix a little bit of slack, because it's not a terrible case. It's pretty good for an inexpensive case. It's gonna come down to price. I mean, do some comparison shopping with the other mid-tower cases. This one's gonna be a little bit less expensive. It's very sturdy. I think as long as it doesn't have breathability problems with the whole dust filter fan thing, it's probably not bad. I think we're gonna have to do a build in this case to really answer those questions.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be a different video. So yeah, solid B. That's the verdict. That's the conclusion. The best feature about this case is that it has dual USB 3.0. A lot of the lesser expensive cases, it's like one USB 2, one USB 3. Come on, it's 2017 at the time that we're reviewing this. Probably somebody's watching this in like 2023. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, dual USB 3 it's a good feature for this case. So the electronics are good. I mean, I like where they're going.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. You have your own channel, so
I do.
There's a link to your channel in the description. This is Qain, by the way. You already knew that. You were freaking out. You're like, oh my god! Oh. He's his own thing, like David S. Pumpkins.
Keep laughing at the fact that I've perfectly framed my face.
Okay, that wasn't terrible.